Are you struggling to figure out where to begin with AI when it comes to marketing? Well, this video is for any marketer who's looking to get up to speed with AI very quickly. We're going to cover all the areas that AI is useful in marketing, then we're going to zoom out and just look at where AI is useful in the workplace itself. We're going to look at the core LLMs, these large language models such as ChatGPT and Gemini, to understand which ones are best for which purposes. And then we're going to look at some other tools that complement these core large language models. But then probably most importantly, I'm going to take you through 4 exercises that move from very beginner to fairly advanced demos of things that you can do with AI, from email to social media to digital marketing to finally AI automation. If you're new to the Blazing Zebra channel, I want to welcome you and thank you for joining me on my mission of helping marketers and entrepreneurs all around the world understand these new powerful AI tools. I've got a cheat sheet to this video and all of my videos available to my Patreon supporters. There's a link in the description to that. There are also options for some coaching, etc. So if you're enjoying these videos, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Without further ado, let's dive into AI's role in modern marketing. So market research is a big and often overlooked part of how you can use AI for marketing. This includes understanding the buyer journey, empathy mapping, and really getting under the hood with the actual language and sentiment that these individuals are describing their problems. So there are a lot of ways you can use AI to understand your customer, understand your audience in a much better way. I've created a lot of videos to this. In fact, I'll link to one of my favorites on using it for market research. You can obviously also use AI for content creation. This is probably what most people think of first, creating blogs, social, video script, longer form, and even campaign planning. However, just typing in a basic prompt and expecting some amazing content to materialize is probably not the best way to go. So that's why I want to walk you through an exercise that you can use to create valuable thought leadership content using AI. And another major area of marketing that AI is super helpful with is reaching your audience and buyers. So you can think of this as like a 3-step process: understanding your buyers, creating stuff for them, and then getting that stuff out to them. So this includes SEO, organic social, Facebook ads, Google ads, sales enablement, email outreach, follow-up, and probably a few more things that I'm missing here. So those were some ways that you can use AI for marketing. Here are some big categories of just how you can use AI in your day-to-day work. So decision making is a huge thing. You can always think of these large language models as a place to go to get a third opinion and ask about a decision, ask about weighing the consequences of various actions. Also great for data analysis. I'm planning a bunch more videos on that. For legal, understanding legal terminology, understanding where risks are in certain agreements, making sure you're complying with certain regulations, and even drafting agreements, although you want to make sure to run all that stuff by an actual attorney. There are a lot of advantages for using AI for legal stuff. Process documentation and automation. This is going to be the last exercise that I walk you through today of how to automate a process. This is a big and growing field for AI, especially as these new autonomous agents start to roll out onto the scene. HR and hiring. I don't hear enough people talking about how you can use AI to screen resumes and to create interview questions and to create follow-up, etc. for the hiring process. And probably my favorite is personal development. So thinking about ways you can use AI to enhance your skills. Just popping in a prompt such as, how can I improve my communication skills? And it'll probably give you a list of things. You might want to follow that prompt up with, let's collaborate and do this together. What duties can you provide to help me enhance my communication skills, or whatever skill you are looking to learn? And in that way, if you just ask it to collaborate with you, you can get it to help you, instead of having it just create what is a blog post of tips on how to increase whatever skill you're looking to improve upon. So now let's take a look at some of the leading LLMs. These are large language models. The most popular everybody knows of now is ChatGPT, currently ChatGPT 4 is one of the leading large language models, although very recently Google dropped Gemini Advanced, and these are becoming some of the more powerful AIs out there. So I consider Gemini to be right now the leading #1 large language model. However, ChatGPT has a bunch of bells and whistles, such as custom GPTs, that give it an advantage there. So it can be tough to decide whether you're going to use OpenAI's ChatGPT 4 or Gemini, and how frequently you're going to switch between one or the other as they continue to leapfrog each other in their race to be the best AI. Claude is another fantastic AI. I think Claude really excels at summarizing long call transcripts. Claude is also very good to help you write certain things. So if ChatGPT is not writing quite the way you want, you might want to try Claude for that. And Perplexity.ai is one of the major tools I'm always recommending. This is where I go instead of Google to do any sort of research. So you can think of this as your research assistant. So just a quick recap, ChatGPT 4, very powerful tool. It has a lot of bells and whistles that add significant functionality to it, specifically the custom GPTs and the ability to create those, which I'll get into a little later in this presentation. Gemini, I think, is right now the most advanced model out there. It has the best decision making and also provides the best responses. Claude is very powerful for writing and transcribing, and Perplexity AI is the #1 for research. But those are the 4 you want to focus on. I've talked to a lot of people that get distracted by a lot of different tools that are coming out. And for me, I typically encourage them to at least have a basic understanding of these major tools before they get distracted by others. I also get the question often, what is Microsoft Copilot? This is a bit of an oversimplification, but basically Copilot runs on the brains of ChatGPT 4 and then is connected to all the other Microsoft products such as Excel, PowerPoint, Word, and many others. Other tools you want to keep an eye on: Zapier, which we'll get into in this presentation, for any automations. Midjourney, currently the best for image creation, although there are others that are making headway there. 11 Labs is great for voice, and soon to be rolling out sound effects, which is very important when you're thinking about creating any video content. Right now, Runway ML, I think, is the leader when it comes to generating video, although OpenAI's Sora is coming soon, which is looking like it will then be the new champion in video creation. All right, so now let's jump into some exercises here. We're going to start with the very beginner exercises, moving to the advanced exercises. Some people like to describe this as starting on the bunny slope and ending on the double black diamond. So I just wanted to make sure I had something for everybody here, and hopefully you get some value out of each one of these steps. When it comes to email, this is the most simple way to use ChatGPT, and it's a way I use it every single day. Always at the end of the day, I have a handful of emails that need thoughtful responses, and I just don't have the brain power for it. So here is what I do. So let's hop into ChatGPT, GPT-4. This is the paid version. And I am just going to copy and paste a difficult email in here and see if it can help us create a response to this email. The prompt is very simple. Please help me respond to this email. And then I put a fairly difficult email in there about some problems with an FDA, indicating that our latest product, XYZ, is having problems, and there's social media sentiment that is turning against us, etc. So this would be a very painful email to receive. And if you're getting that at the end of the day and you know you've got to respond, popping that into ChatGPT, along with, you might want to put some of your additional thoughts in this prompt as well. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it has created a fairly long email, and I usually have to then command it to make it a little bit shorter. So I've put here in the response, please make this much shorter, and then focus on the social media response, or steer it which way you think it needs to be steered. And from there, you have an email that might work as a response with just a couple quick prompts. Oftentimes it might use words that you don't like, so you might want to follow that up with a prompt that just says, I would never use this word or that word, please adjust it accordingly. And that I've found is an easier way to control the tone rather than having it continuously rewrite and rewrite and rewrite. But perhaps you get an email at the end of the day and you have no idea how to respond. So in that instance, I would use this prompt. I need to respond to the following email. What are a few approaches I can take? And then copy and paste the email right in there. And this then begins to outline a few different actions you can take or a few different ways you can approach that email. So I would follow that up saying approaches number 1, 5, and 7 are most important. Please create a short email draft based on those. This way you're allowing the AI to help you think through the response and then craft the response. You'll notice I added the word short to the second prompt so that I didn't have to prompt it again to just make a shorter version, because I know every version that it's going to make, every first version I should say, will be too long. And I still feel like this response is way too long, so I am going to ask it to make a much shorter version. Okay, so now you have something here that you can work with. You can continue to fine tune this. I have all of these prompts in the cheat sheet, as well as a link to a custom GBT that I built that walks you through each one of these steps so you don't even have to copy and paste those prompts in. Now let's move on to using ChatGPT for creating some great content. The content that ChatGPT kicks out right out of the gate without significant prompting can be pretty generic. And this is my background. I've run a content marketing agency for about 10 years, working with all sorts of clients in the tech space. So this is something I've thought a lot about, and I'm excited to share this prompt sequence with you of how to get ChatGPT to create some, what I believe can be truly thought leadership content. We're going to start by asking it to generate 30 buzzwords or trending topics around whatever your area of expertise is. So maybe you're a marketer and brand management is one of your areas of expertise. Let's see what it returns. We've got a list here of about 30 different ideas for trending topics in your area of expertise. What we're doing is just getting some terminology loaded into the context window of the large language model. And I'll show you where I'm going with this in a second. This next prompt, we're going to say generate 30 buzzwords or trending topics based around whatever your audience is. And I'm adding in here as well, make sure that these are unrelated to the previous list. So the idea here is that we're going to get it to generate some ideas that connect trending topics in your area of expertise with trending topics that are interesting to your audience. Okay, so now that we've got those all generated and loaded into the short-term memory of the large language model, it's time for this prompt where we're really going to start to see some of the magic happen. The prompt is please create 30 novel connections between these two lists. And now it's generating potential topic ideas for connecting your area of expertise to things that your audience is interested in. All we're looking for here is one of these that jumps out. They're not all going to be good by a long shot, but ideally there's one, and every time I've done it, there's one that sort of jumps out and feels like it has a little bit of life or resonates with some thoughts that I have. Number 15, neurobranding and digital pathology. That looks kind of interesting. This would be for a marketer in the health tech space if that hasn't been clearly defined yet. All right, so let's see what we got. Niche marketing and rare disease treatment technologies. That's kind of interesting. Ephemeral content and health campaigns, using short-lived content to create urgency around public health campaigns similar to marketing tactics. That's pretty cool. 22, consumer co-creation and digital therapeutics development. You can see these are better than if you just asked it to generate a few different social media ideas around health tech or something like that. Number 20 is cool. Purpose-driven marketing and precision health. I could see this performing well on LinkedIn and kind of resonating with some things that are on my mind already. So I'm just writing in here based on number 20. Please create a blog post around a deeper exploration of this topic. Please write this in the first person. That's just my preference. I think that tends to perform well on social media and on blogs, but you can adjust this as you see fit. And I'm considering this just a first draft. So as I'm reading this and as it's generating this response, I'm trying to think, what is my unique angle here based on my expertise that I can add to help shape this into something that's truly coming from how I feel. So the part that grabbed me the most here was how purpose-driven marketing can correlate directly with the personal mission of precision health. I think that's the main gist or the crux of this article. So I pulled that out and added it here into this prompt, just saying my thoughts are, and I explained my thoughts thoughts about what I think the most important parts here, and I've asked it to rewrite the post focusing on that perspective. In this way, we're starting to really embed our own unique point of view into the article. This is feeling much better. But now what I'm looking for are words that it may be using that I would never use. And so we're moving in now from a rewrite to really just fine-tuning the tone of this by pointing out a few different words that I wouldn't use. Sometimes ChatGPT can go way over the top with how hyperbolic it can be, how it can exaggerate things. So I'm looking for anything like that that might stand out. I've put in here that I would never use words like embarking, transcends, or cornerstone. Please create a draft that uses alternate words in place of these. This actually helps me make it more conversational without just telling it make it more conversational. I've had bad luck with that, but if I can point out specific words or specific sentences that I'm not happy with and ask it to just fix those, we can continuously progress this and make it better and better with each revision. If you keep asking it to rewrite, it'll oftentimes erase some of the things that were good in the previous draft. So I like to think of it as that rough draft that we started with, then giving it a bit of your mission and vision, your point of view to rewrite it. And then now in this third version, we're just looking for words that we can replace to make sure that it is getting closer and closer to something that we can use. Every time I've posted something, I have edited it. Sometimes I will take out a whole paragraph, but I feel like this is about 80 to 90, maybe 95% of the way there to something that I would publish. So much farther than if I just said, create a blog post around health tech. This process can help generate content that is far less generic and actually serves as thought leadership content. The final prompt you might want to input here is please generate a handful of hashtags for this post, especially if you're going to drop it on LinkedIn. I find that longer posts that are like a short blog post can do pretty well on LinkedIn. And here's a handful of ideas for hashtags. Obviously, if you're a hashtag master, you might be able to do better than this. I am not a hashtag master, so this is very helpful. And now I want to move into AI for digital marketing and show you how we can create a full PPC campaign, a pay-per-click campaign with just a handful of prompts. Staying in the health tech space, I picked out a medical device here that is something I know very little about, but we're going to use ChatGPT to create some highly tailored ads. All I'm going to do is click Command All, just grab all of the copy here. So that's Control or Command A, and then we're going to copy this with Control or Command C. We're going to bring this right into ChatGPT. We'll start a new chat string here. I'm just copying and pasting this in. You can see there's a lot of extra stuff there that was pulled from the HTML. And then before all of that, I'm going to paste in this simple prompt. The prompt is please create 2 ideal customer profiles based on this copy. And then I use this 3 quotations to separate this out from the prompt. So I don't know that this is necessary anymore, but it used to be necessary because there was some confusion oftentimes with these large language models between what was the prompt and then what was sort of the source material that you're giving it. So these quotation marks serve as a delimiter to help separate that. I'm going to put those at the end as well. And if you're ever having problems with your large language models behaving funny, you might want to think about that, just making sure it's very clear what are the separate parts of the input there. What is the prompt? What is the copy? It can understand different ways of formatting that. These quotation marks are just one way to do that. And now it's off to the races creating these ideal customer profiles. This is the first step that most marketers would go through when they're creating a new campaign, understanding who they're trying to reach. So it has identified the innovative pulmonologist as well as the forward-thinking ICU director as 2 potential ideal customer profiles. And now I'm going to ask it to simply create 2 marketing campaign ideas for each of these ICPs or ideal customer profiles. So it's come up with a few different campaign ideas, an infographic series, a webinar series, a digital brochure or microsite. I think that campaign number 2 shows some promise there of something we can actually achieve fairly quickly. So I'm going to focus on that. I'm going to ask it to create 10 targeted keywords for the Elevate Your Practice with Exalt campaign. These keywords can be used for SEO or they can be used to put into the Google AdWords tool to begin your targeting there. Now I'm going to ask it to generate 10 Google ads for this campaign, each with a 30-character title and a 90-character description so we can get close to what the Google Ads criteria is. These large language models aren't perfect, but they're getting better and better at hitting these character counts. Frankly, these are not as good as many that I've seen before, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of feedback. I think the ones where it leads with the product name are not going to perform very well. They're probably worth testing, but I like number 2, 4, 5, 7. So given that, I'm just going to say I like 2, 4, 5, and 7 best. Can you please create a new list that includes these and a few more like these? There we go. These feel a little bit better. If I was doing this for real, I might ask it to create a few where the product name is not in the description. The idea is that we want to get a wide variety of things to test. This is also a place where I might use Gemini. Google's Gemini, I believe, can create some slightly better results. But moving forward from there, I've just put in a prompt to recreate these ads for Facebook, each with a 40-character headline and a primary text section of 125 characters. So this is going to recreate all of those in a format we can use on Facebook. There are a bunch of different formats for Facebook, Instagram, etc. You can adjust these prompts accordingly. Remember, I do have all these prompts in a cheat sheet. I also have a custom GPT linked in that cheat sheet that runs you through all of these without having to copy and paste any of those prompts. And that's something I work on a lot with my coaching clients, is how to adjust custom GPTs, how to adjust these processes that I've built to their specific needs. So if that's something you're interested in, check out those options in Patreon. Moving forward with the final step here is just simply creating a landing page that we can point all of these ads to. So now you can see we've gone from just copying and pasting some basic text off of a website through creating the ideal customer profiles, creating campaign ideas, creating ads, and now creating the copy for a landing page. You have 80 to 90% of what you need for any digital marketing campaign. You can also use it to create a video script. There is a lot of organic reach and a lot of advantages to having video. There's a lot of AI tools that create video. And remember that the more you give it on the input side, the better all of this is going to be. I work with clients who do interviews with subject matter experts around whatever product they're promoting, and then they might do interviews or market research studies in various ways on the audience and use that as the input instead of just some basic copy, getting much better on what you're putting in, which then would lead to better results here down the line. All right, now I want to move on to the final chapter here, AI for automation. This is also going to be one of the more advanced use cases. I have a whole video that goes in depth for this process. I'll put a link to that here as well. But today I'm going to show you quickly how to create a bot that can answer email requests that come into your general email inbox. The first thing that you want to do is create an FAQ of all of the questions that you're frequently asked and save that in some sort of a text document. Then you want to go to this platform.openai.assistance. So we're moving now out of this web-based chat GPT to the back end, the API that OpenAI provides. At that URL, you can come to this page, you can click on assistance, and you can create a new one. This is very similar to creating a custom GPT, but you can use it for a lot of different automations. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just going to name it FAQ bot for now. Then you're going to want to add your FAQ right here to this files section. So the FAQ that you created goes here, and you need to turn on retrieval. You want to select ChatGPT 4 Turbo Preview here for the model or whatever the most recent model is. And the instructions here, you want to think about giving it a role and a goal. So here's what I have for some example instructions. This is an FAQ bot for my favorite donut shop in Chicago, Stan's Donuts. It gives it the role of a representative for Stan's Donuts, and it is saying that you will provide users with detailed information, and it has access to a document called Stan's Donuts Knowledge Base. That is the FAQ document that we uploaded, and you want to make sure at the end in all caps that you put in do not provide any information that is not related to this knowledge base, because you don't want the bot to get hacked and to start generating all sorts of weird information that could get you, your clients, etc. in trouble. So this is a good example of instructions that has worked well for me, and you drop that right here into the instructions section. Now, inside Zapier, if you're unfamiliar with Zapier, it is a way to connect AI to many different tools out there. In this case, we're going to be connecting it to Gmail, and the trigger is a new email comes in to Gmail. There are a lot of different ways you can customize how this works, but then that will go in. The second step will hit your assistant that we just created that is trained on the knowledge base on your FAQ, and then it will create a draft in Gmail. So that draft will show up and you can read it, or you can have an assistant of yours read it for accuracy in order to make sure that you're sending out accurate information. You can update that and send it out, or if it's really off, if you see areas where it is really not replying correctly, that's an indicator that you need to update that FAQ, that knowledge base, with some new information to cover whatever questions are getting asked and are not getting answered properly. And this is, I think, a really great first step to building one of these powerful assistants, because as you continue to refine it and add things to that FAQ doc, to that knowledge base, you are then further refining a customer support chatbot that can not only answer emails, but might serve as a chatbot on the website and could really eventually serve as a, customer support brain for many different things down the road as these models get more and more powerful. From there, you can also think about creating an internal one of these. Potentially every, manager could have their own, FAQ bot that handles a lot of the commonly asked questions that they get, and they could just, instead of opening up their inbox to a bunch of emails that they've answered, that same question many times, they could open it up and have all those drafts ready to go. There's a lot of ways you can get fancy with this. You can even include examples of previous emails in that FAQ doc to make sure that you're really nailing how you would respond to those specific inquiries. But I think, like anything, you got to just make sure to spend some time testing and refining it. It's not going to be perfect right out of the gate, and I think that's where people get frustrated if this AI doesn't work just immediately. They throw it out and move on to the next thing. But the folks who actually spend some time with it, understand that they're building something that can save them a lot of time down the road. Those are the folks that I see being successful at this as they're continuously refining each step of their process. So there you have it. We have just gone through some basic to advanced use cases for AI. I hope you got a ton out of this. Thanks again for joining me on my mission of helping marketers and entrepreneurs adopt these powerful new technologies. I have a cheat sheet for this video and all of my videos available to my Patreon supporters. There's also some code in there, as well as some coaching options. I have one-on-one coaching options, but I also have these new office hours where once a week a bunch of people are jumping on a call, asking questions, having good discussions. So feel free to check that out and give me a like, give me a subscribe, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to hear anything that you might be missing, any questions that you have, any ideas for future videos. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video.
Make your dreams come true.